small things really well, right? As opposed to our geniuses, we got our black versions of Elon Musk and our black Mark Zuckerbergs and stuff like that. But sometimes those people that have that big potential get crushed by small-minded people around them who almost bully you into being as backward as they are. And and so we're not here to look down on anybody or dog anybody out, but this is what, in my view, a real faculty looks like. This is something I've always dreamed about when you talk about what it means to learn how to be successful economically or otherwise. You got to learn from people who know how to do it. And a lot of people don't know that those college professors that put you $200,000 in debt, most of them don't know how to make money. Most of them, many of them don't own any real estate, have never engaged in any sort of big business transaction, or maybe own some shares of stock in their 401k, but that's about it. Have never run a business. Some of them never even worked for a corporation. So it doesn't mean that they have no value. It just means that there is another level that you have to go to, right? Like if you're trying to learn how to win a championship, you don't go talk to a high school basketball coach. You need to go talk to Michael Jordan or LeBron. As far as I'm concerned, y'all are Michael Jordans. You don't just know what the heck you're talking about, because you can teach anybody, but you also understand the specifics of what our community needs right now and what we're trying to do and what we're working with. So that's why I respect y'all so much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Boyd. Thank you. Thank you for putting this platform together to really help us make history today. I shared with this earlier, but I'm sharing with the group. Omar and I, we've been on numerous hotel panels. Numerous of conferences. I can't describe you how many conferences. I have never seen so many people join, so many Black people. Correct me if I'm wrong, Omari. We making history right now. The fact that y'all stayed through, I'm looking at this participant list. We started with like 400 something, and we still got 300 something, over 300 something left. Talking about hotel ownership and hotel investing. Dr. Boyce, you're making history. This is history right here.
Well, Black people, we're just special. We could take any topic and just really make it crunk. Like really just make like set it off. We when we get inspired about something, we have that ability to do church wherever we go. And to me right now, we're just in an economic church where now we're really talking about the future of our community. We have these big dreams in terms of what we're doing to transform our families. And to me, there's nothing to be more excited about than the fact that you literally have shifted generational curses and ended bad cycles and all the the crazy things that we've gone through. So I think that's what I love about the people that are here. Everybody that's in here right now is here because their mindset is really, really driven and focused and special. Because everybody don't love what we do over here. Some people get nervous and squeamish and because we take our stuff seriously. Because again, to go to the Jordan LeBron analogy, we're trying to win championships. Everybody didn't want to play with LeBron or play with Jordan because they know that they're going to have a standard, and we have a standard here, and everybody meets it. So God bless everybody in here that's doing the best you can with your family.
I'm telling y'all, everybody who showed up today, everybody who registered, y'all literally making history. This is beautiful. This is
it's a really big deal, like Davon said, and so as you said, Dr. Boyce, like she and I, we both went to school for hotel administration, right? To work in the hospitality industry, and I mean, I'm sure we can both tell you without prompting that there were no classes about ownership. Right, wow. There were no classes. Like it was kind of like an owner exists, and this is how you service them.
Yes,
manager, right?
Yeah.
You're like
retired. You're servicing other people's dreams, right? And so the really in-depth side of it didn't really come until you get out into the industry and you keep hitting those walls and keep hitting your head against those things. And we both started our operations. I used to be a housekeeping manager. And seeing what it looks like, and then you understand, like, well, there's a lot of money made, right? Now the question is, where's it going to? Because you got to remember, right now we're in a quote unquote recession, but the money doesn't evaporate; it just changes hands. So we're in the midst of an asset that has seen its worst day ever. We're in recovery mode, and you have the chance to ride a wave of recovery. Right, there's a lot of data surrounding this, so everything that you spoke about was spot on, and I love the fact that we're able to bring the best of melanated talent out and get you a lineup of folks to say, hey, we're here, not just are we here with information, we're here with education, and we're here with open arms and open ears to try to help these dreams come to fruition.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And to your point about, the fact that it just so happens that when we're being trained about this stuff, they always talk about the owner, like the owner's the Wizard of Oz, and we're there to service the owner. That ain't no accident. It's right. We know that, right? And, especially when you think about university systems in terms of how they teach us how to go into business. If you go to most of the regular schools, the state schools, University of Texas, stuff like that, usually they're going to gear your training toward working for somebody else, right? How to be a good employee. But if you go to the elite schools, Harvard and Yale and stuff like that, that's when they start actually having those serious conversations about actually owning and running the company, right? And this goes back 1,000 years. If you study the history of the European feudal system, which that's kind of what capitalism is rooted in, you had 90% of the population working their butts off to service the top 10%. That was actually a criticism of capitalism that Karl Marx had. I'm not a Marxist, but there are good ideas on all sides of the spectrum. So I encourage everybody to get your good ideas from everywhere, even ideas you don't agree with. Try to understand and try to appreciate it. And that was one thing he said, is he said that you have a culture that indoctrinates people, and especially in America, Black folks. I mean, we know we came in at the back of the bus. That indoctrinates you. It trains you to believe that the best thing you can do for yourself, for your family, for your country is to serve a greater master, right? Or pick somebody as your master and serve you, be the, and for us, it just doesn't work. So when I think about hotel ownership, I'm thinking about, for example, the fact that we own 15 times more land 100 years ago than we own today. I think about the stories from the Green Book in terms of why, just literally for our own survival, we had to come together and figure out how to connect and how to keep each other alive while we were on the road. I think about generational wealth, where I'm tired. We're not going to have in the future, not from this group anyway, families where the patriarch and matriarchs are dying and leaving nothing for the family, nothing for the children. We don't honor that. We cannot honor that, right? And so ultimately, this to me is awesome, because when you said, Devon, in the beginning, excuse me, and I think we can even close out on what you said in the beginning. When you said that we are making Black history, I agree with you 100%. And the thing about Black history to me is Black history is made by Black people. And also, Black people are the only ones who are qualified to evaluate and judge what defines Black history and what does not, right? So I'm not going to watch, TV or go to somebody else's school to learn what Black history is supposed to be. No, I'm going to come to y'all, right? Because we're making that Black history. So I want everybody to know, and I'll let Devon and Amari, if you have anything else you want to add before we bounce out of here. But everybody, just a reminder, if you want to watch the recording of any of this, you can actually go to blackhotelinvesting.com. That's the URL, blackhotelinvesting.com. Watch it with your family. Bring your children in on this, right? Bring your children in on this culture. You see, that's the same way we talk about church. A lot of us don't remember the first time our mama took us to church. That's because that's a culture, right? So bring them into an economic culture that is empowering for them, that's going to lead to opportunities, that's going to lead to success, but ultimately lead them to happiness and freedom. Freedom and happiness are like siblings. It's hard to be happy when you ain't free. But when you are free, you have the ability to, as they say, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. You have the ability to pursue happiness, right? A lot of our people can't pursue happiness because they got to go to work that day, right? So if you free your children, then they will have the ability to pursue happiness. So don't just fight for yourself and think about how much money you're going to make. You're going to make money doing these sorts of things. We know this. Think about what is in store for children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren when they're starting at the age of 8 at a place where you might have started at the age of 38. That's going to be huge for them. Ladies first, I guess. Devon, did you have anything you wanted to add before we bounce out of here? And then Amari, I'll let you, and then I'll close this on out. Anything you want to add?
What you said just touched it. It made me think as you talking. When I started talking more and more about hotel ownership, as far as publicly creating these courses and everything, and just having these conversations, more and more kids as young as 8, now they're saying they want to become a hotel owner.
Wow.
Now they didn't know that it was a possibility. They didn't even think about buying a hotel. So now when they go to their family reunions, now they're thinking about hotel ownership. So you're saying that and telling these phenomenal people to listen in, share this with your family. Share this, have these conversations at your next family reunion, at your next dinner table, or your next virtual Zoom, or whatever you have. talk about possibility of actually owning something, actually pulling your money together. That's what I do with my family, right? That's what I do. I literally do that about my family. We own land. Y'all, let's own a hotel. We keep giving all this money to other hotels, other lodging establishments, the host our family reunion. Why can't we pull our money together? We're very educated, and y'all showed up today, so I already know y'all educated.
All right.
So just beautiful. And again, just congratulations. Continue to make history. I'm going to lead passes over to my brother Omari.
And in closing, I'm going to say that I first and foremost appreciate the fact that we're having the conversation, because we're introducing a new concept. And there's a lot of things that people talk about. This is one of those things that they don't talk about. And when people aren't talking about it, and when there's not a lot of people that look like me, there's probably a lot of bread there. And you know what? I'm chasing it. I'm chasing it every time. And I don't want the slice. I want the loaf. So this is what we're here to do. Understand that it's not a foreign concept to us at all. We heard the story of the Green Book many a times throughout this course. Like I always say, and Davon always laughs at me, if we were the first Airbnb, right? Historically, Black folks traveled to see people and not things, because you couldn't get into the things you couldn't get into things through the segregation and discrimination, right? So you're traveling to see people. You had to stay with people, right? We've been traveling. We've been hosting for years. We've been here. This is within us. This is not a new thing, right? Somebody just figured out how to put a game on top of the game. So all we have to do is access it. So let us be your access. Davon always tells everybody that you be your pathway to hotel ownership. We will be your access. And more importantly, we're here to advocate for you and assist you.
All right. And real quick, I want to remind everybody that if you want to see the recording of this wonderful conference and hear from the experts, you can go to blackhotelinvesting.com. And like Devon was mentioned earlier, and Omari as well, this is a culture. This is not a class. This is a culture. Think about it like if you have a family full of basketball players, basketball's in the culture. Everybody's dribbling basketballs when they're 2 years old. If you have a family full of rappers, hip hop is in the culture, right? They're rapping at the age of 4. Anything else is a culture, right? So for us, what is your culture? You shape that. You shape that. This is your time. You're the head of your family. You decide what your children are going to do that day. You decide what the agenda is going to be, and so we want to empower you to be able to come in there and do that. Shape the culture. Shape the culture. Shape the culture. Culture is stronger than a class. A class is something you learn outside of the culture, something that's a little awkward, a little flimsy, but when it's part of your culture, it's part of your DNA, part of who you are, part of how you were raised, again, like church, then you can't really put out a light like that. And so two things that come to mind as we finish up is one, my daughter has a friend who is from Vietnam, and her father has a lot of wealth back in Vietnam, and he created a company that makes, I think, lighters or something like that. And this little girl who's in middle school, 6th grade, basically explained to us that in her family, she said, when one of my family members comes to the U.S. and sets up a business, they have a banking system in the family where they will lend money to other relatives so they can come over and start a business that's related to the business that they already have. So I have a nail shop. Maybe I give you the money to start a coffee shop next door or a smoothie shop or whatever. And this 12-year-old could explain that to me. Why? Well, because it was part of her culture, right? She didn't think of it as business. Oh, well, I got to go to business school before I can even learn, what 2 + 2 is. I had to count money. No. This was something that she understood since she was in the 1st grade, because that's just what everybody did in her family. Now, so for you, I want you to really think carefully about culture and be very intentional about how you shape that culture. Speaking of culture, last point I'll make, I got to bring in my grandmother into the room. My grandmother, Felicia, she's on the wall right here. She is that Panther. We named our Black Panther in the Black Business School Felicia, after my late grandmother, who was the first person to introduce me to economics when I was a kid. She never made more than $20,000 a year. Never got a college degree, never studied business, but she taught me about compound interest, which led me to go on and explore wealth in a deeper way. Now, one thing my grandmother told me one day, my family was real impressed because I went to my hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, and I stayed in this hotel that's not just a few blocks away from where Breonna Taylor was killed, actually, called the Galt House. And the Galt House is the fanciest hotel in the city. That's where all the fancy people stay, all the rich people stay. And my grandmother was talking to me about how when she was a kid, that black people couldn't even go into the Galt House unless you were going to work, of course. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know what it is. And we were all excited about this idea that I was staying in the Galt House. And I think that's interesting. I think about that because when you think about hotel ownership, I said, wait a minute, hold on. As I get older, I realize there's a bigger dream out there, though, right? Like our old dream used to be, I hope that one day I have enough money and I hope that I have enough status to be able to go and be a customer at this fancy establishment. So I encourage you, I challenge you right now to aim for the bigger dream. Aim for the bigger dream. It's better to think big than it is to be smart and think small. I'd rather be a person of average intelligence who thinks big than to be a person of extraordinary intelligence who thinks small. So what is the bigger dream? Well, the bigger dream, obviously, is that rather than being excited about being a customer at somebody else's fancy hotel, that in this generation and the next, we are the owners of those fancy hotels and we're running those hotels. Okay. So that's where we're aiming for. That's what we're trying to do. That's what these people in this room have been able to empower you to begin the journey on. And you're going to hear back from us. Okay. So everybody type the word dream in here. So that's the theme. Aim for the bigger dream. So type the word dream, and I want you to dream. I want you to obsess about it. I want you to talk to people about it. I want you to push it. I want you to rebuild the culture in your family because you will win. You will not lose. You cannot lose because you are black. And we know that being black is like being made out of gold, and we cannot be defeated no matter what we do. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Devon, and thank you, Amari, and thank you to everybody who participated. Also, everybody in the back. I can't forget about the people that were running things backstage. Taryn Donatian and Carmelita, Lawrence. Who else? I hope I didn't miss anybody. But if I did, I'll apologize to them as well. But have a good day, everybody. God bless you, and we'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.